is your host.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right, everybody, here we are. We just finished watching WrestleMania 36, Night 2. Here we are with Alex and myself, World Wrestling Podcast. This is the WrestleMania Night 2 reaction. Alex, how are you feeling right after watching WrestleMania?
Wow, I have like different emotions when it comes to this because night one started good, ended
Hell yeah.
excellent, and then
Woo!
today started good and
Hashtag Boneyard
ended,
match.
yeah, it ended pretty good. I didn't like the ending of the match, but I guess we'll discuss that in the thing. So I said there's a lot of mixed emotions here, but I loved it. I think WWE did an excellent job. Not having a live audience, I think they did their thing. They used their productions for a lot of
Yeah.
these matches, and I was impressed. It reminded me back in the days a little bit of their work ethics and how they became the industry they are today.
For sure. What was your standout moment? Like, when did tonight's WrestleMania feel like, yeah, it's definitely kicking off? Like, what match is standing out for you from the start?
From the very start, I think I guess we could discuss how the match. I didn't watch the pre-show, so I watched exactly at
Yeah.
7 o'clock, and we're talking about the NXT Women's Championship. I think that was a good start.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. It was a good deliver of women's division in that match. You had the NXT Women's Championship defending it, and it was just overall without having a crowd, they were able to get that momentum and kind of whatever anybody was watching at home to see them actually do this performance, and the ref was doing a good job doing the dialogue with the whole
Yep.
situation, and Charlotte, speaking and actually hearing them speak was kind of good. They were kind of directing their own way in their match, and it was phenomenal. I knew Charlotte was gonna win. I was telling y'all because Charlotte is listen. They trying to bring NXT some attention.
Yeah.
AEW is on Wednesdays, so
Yeah.
they need that division to be looked at. And why
Yeah.
not put Charlotte on with the belt, get the division looked at, and now more people gonna watch because all those Charlotte fans are gonna start watching NXT now.
Absolutely. I think Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley started off the night really strong. Strong wrestling match. It was like a proper wrestling. You work on one body part, you wear it down, wear it down, wear it down, put in the submission on that body part, and then kind of finish the match. So Charlotte Flair is now the NXT Women's Champion again, on top of her 10-time normal Women's Championship, Royal Rumble win. Like, she's done it all at this point. Charlotte Flair is the queen. I know she's the queen of your heart. It's
Yes.
definitely.
I'm
um, and what a way to start the show. And now that we've got like what you really enjoyed, I'm gonna jump right into something that I think everyone wants to hear about: the Firefly Funhouse match. Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that
was phenomenal.
that blew my mind. I mean, it was spooky, it was creepy at times. It was like, what is going on? But honest to God, I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
It was funny, dude. Like, whoever came up with that, Bray Wyatt, John Cena, WWE, Vince, I don't know who came up with that, but it was such good shit. I was really enjoying it. What did you think of the Firefly Funhouse?
Wow, that was really good. Because of the women's division, they had a good start, but this right here was on top. Like the Boneyard match was phenomenal, but this
Oh,
together, WWE did a phenomenal. If you want to look at theories and look at, because you know how I like to look into the matches and see what they're really trying to think.
yeah.
This was a way to show a history of how John Cena started his career. You see how it starts when he went up to face Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And this is when young John Cena, and you see the evolution of John Cena's career to Thugonomics, and when he used to rap all the way up to the end. If you think about it, it was a beginning of his era to the end of his career. I don't
Yeah.
know if this is a way of them pushing out John Cena and kind of saying he is retiring, but if they did so, it was a great way to end his legacy with WWE because it showed the beginning,
Yeah.
showed the end,
Yeah.
and it was also other things that I don't think a lot of people didn't realize. They
That
did
was
show WCW Nitro.
yes,
If
yes,
you
that was amazing. That
if you
was freaking
find
amazing.
it, it
Cause
shows. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm gonna see if
yeah,
you agree with me on this one. But the fact they showed WCW Nitro, they were
yeah,
talking about and highlight that at that point WWE was struggling to
yeah,
get their fans to watch them.
yeah,
And everybody was watching Nitro, nobody was watching WWE, and you had Undertaker, you had a few wrestlers that were still committed to the brand. But
mm,
there was a moment in their life that they didn't have the fans there, and they were
yeah,
struggling to have the fans. And I think they were showing something about their past that they experienced now that they're experienced with AEW, that have fans are kind of watching that, and they're separating themselves from WWE. And I think they were showing something of their past, connecting at the same time, trying to connect John Cena's legacy to it. I
yeah.
don't. That's my theory to it. I don't know what you think.
That's a fair thing to say, I guess. But what I really enjoyed was that they used the Eric Bischoff's infamous promo where he introduces practically like Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and they use Cena as the modern day version of sort of Hulk Hogan's NWO championship, and how they reimagined John Cena in the Monday Night Wars, WCW Monday Night Nitro and Monday Night Raw, and versus, this was a very cool little throwback for the old school wrestling fans, people who've been watching from back in the day. And honestly, this was so funny. I just felt like the idea, the concept of the Firefly Funhouse being like a trip down memory lane to practically take John Cena to every point of his career and make him out to be a failure, where he's completely powerless against the mind games and the spiritual mind games of Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, and the right result with the Fiend going over, because the Fiend really needed something big after losing to Goldberg. So I think this was a great redemption. Again, once again, proving that even during this crazy COVID coronavirus time, that if they shoot matches like this, concept matches shot outside of the ring, like the Boneyard match, like the Firefly Funhouse match, it can work. Like fans like you and I, old school fans, new fans, kids, everyone can enjoy this sort of content because it is honestly creative thinking, very good shooting. It's almost like a movie. We're watching movies right here. It's like movies come to life. This is amazing, and I think in the time in the weeks ahead, now that they can't shoot in the performance center, can they shift to matches like this and keep up a show? Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but we shall see. I think after tonight, after WrestleMania, Vince would be a fool to not have these sort of matches happening in the future. So, and we know that Vince is no fool. He's definitely smart. It was so smart for him to do WrestleMania this weekend, 2 nights in a row for the first time ever, and really entertaining us when we needed the most. So thank you, Vince McMahon. Thank you, WWE, for a great 2 nights. And this was just so much entertainment. I really enjoyed it. And what do you think? Do you think, in hindsight, now that you've been through these 2 nights, do you think it was the right call to go ahead with WrestleMania with no
Yeah,
audience?
it was. I know the audience would have been disbelieved, but think about it. If there was audience, do you think the bowl match would have happened? Do you think the Firefly House match would have happened the way it would have
No,
happened? No, it wouldn't. And I think the ability of seeing both of this, it was art. If you think about it, it was
oh,
art. It was taking history,
absolutely.
like with the Fire Funhouse, it was history of professional wrestling at its best. You're
Yeah,
talking about showing history of WWE all the way because it shows when you see Vince saying "Welcome to WrestleMania" when he cuts
the,
John
which
Cena
is the
off.
first one. Yeah, it's
Yes,
the first.
you see the
Wow.
ability of history of WWE to all the way to its point and showing at the same time showing John Cena's career into it and
Yeah.
bringing the past to it. So it's like this art, this history and its uniqueness overall. And I think this would never had happened if there was an audience. And I think they definitely pulled the they they pulled the trigger with these 2 matches when it comes to Undertaker, a way to end Undertaker's career the right way, not making him lose to AJ Styles. The way it ended, that match was phenomenal for the first night. And then we're talking about this match. Overall, the top 2, this is going to be in history books down the aisle. And then this is what we're going to talk about, future generation, how this match was phenomenal and a great way to put Bray Wyatt to back on top, and showing John Cena speaking about how he wants to destroy Bray Wyatt's career, saying he does not deserve it. And Bray Wyatt overcoming John Cena and ending the match the way it did. Phenomenal. Art. That was phenomenal.
Complete art. Yeah.
There's no other way to say it.
There's just no other way to say it. You're absolutely right. Showing Bray Wyatt's career, how he came from the Wyatt family. They reference Husky Harris. At one point, Bray Wyatt dances to the tune of Nikki Bella, which I thought was, wow, that's really hitting close to home, because Nikki Bella was John Cena's ex. She's now dating Artem from Dancing with the Stars, and now she's pregnant with Artem's kid. So it's like the fact that they reference Nikki Bella in a John Cena promo is pretty, it's they went there. They went there and they went to all the places that could hurt John Cena. And, respect to John Cena for being a part of this. Because, I mean, obviously he has other things to do at this point in his career. He didn't need to do this. But the fact that he's putting over superstars every year, last year he put over The Undertaker. This year he's putting over Bray Wyatt. Like, it just shows that John Cena at this point in his career is definitely playing the role, of someone who he doesn't need a win. He's already John Cena. Like, he's going to, if he wants to come back tomorrow and wrestle for the title, we will, like, no one's going to complain at all. So I think this is John Cena rectifying a mistake, which he probably shouldn't have done 6 years ago, beating Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. So in a way, it was brilliant. And is there anything else, any other match that for you stood out from tonight, night 2 of WrestleMania?
I would say the other match that stood out to me, I would say the Women's SmackDown Championship was another match that stood out. There was other good matches, and there were other matches that I wasn't as impressed. I was shocked that Bayley won. I really Lacey Evans was gonna take it towards the end. She was doing a phenomenal job, and I think it kind of boosts a little bit Bayley's career. A little bit. She did a good job. I wasn't really hyped about Bayley as much, but the way she ended the match, it was good. I was kind of rooting for Lacey Evans towards the end, because she was doing a phenomenal job. I thought Sasha Banks was gonna take it. We discussed it on the
I thought so too. Yeah.
But I guess WWE wants Bayley to continue pushing that women's division on SmackDown. Hopefully she does continue doing a good job. But I think this was a good match for the women. They did redeem themselves on the second day, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think the booking was great. They made Tamina look strong by looking her own in front of 4 other people. Naomi got the pin on Tamina, which was a good booking. Then, obviously Sasha gets the pin on Naomi, and Lacey knocks out Sasha pretty practically with the women's right. She gets the pin. She looks strong. I think Lacey Evans put in probably the best performance of her career. Very virtuoso performance against the odds, stacked against her. She nearly pulls out the win, which I was like, oh, they're finally doing it. They're giving Lacey the moment she deserves. But good booking in terms of it intrigues you. Is Sasha gonna turn on Bayley? Is their friendship going to sustain? Are they going to put in a title run against each other? I think there's money to be made of Bayley versus Sasha. So this sets up that feud very beautifully. So once again, really good booking all around. And let's also cover quickly the Drew McIntyre and the Brock Lesnar match. I think the booking of that was done really interestingly and really well. I was so surprised to see Brock Lesnar selling as much as he has in this feud against Drew McIntyre. He's made Drew McIntyre look like $1 million. What did you think of the match they had?
I would have probably preferred to watch this match before the FireFly House.
Yes, I agree with that. This shouldn't have been a main event, even though it's a WWE Championship. But Yeah.
Should not. It was a good match. It did. Lesnar did sell it out to the best of his abilities because if everybody knows, Lesnar likes to work when he is very interested in working, depending on the
Yeah.
superstar he's working with. He
Just
did a good
ask Dean
job.
Ambrose. He doesn't work when he doesn't want to.
Yes, and then he doesn't. If he doesn't like you, and if he doesn't like how you work, he won't give his 110% effort. So it wasn't bad. It was clean. It was
Hmm.
I guess you could say a modern wrestling match. It wasn't like
Yeah.
I think maybe there was something missing. Maybe this would have been better with the crowd because the
Yeah,
crowd
for sure.
would have
Absolutely.
then it would have been perfect for the end because then you have the confetti, then you have all this stuff.
Mm. This is
But
a feel good moment to end the show.
yeah, but I definitely did like what Drew McIntyre did towards the end. He said thank you to the fans on the camera. He really did make sure he showed his appreciation to the fans. So, but overall,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was
And
pretty good.
if you saw something interesting there, like throughout the ending of the match, of the Brock Lesnar match, Brock Lesnar just lays down for the entire time that Drew McIntyre is celebrating to sell that he got hit with almost, well, not almost, he got hit with four Claymore kicks throughout the match. He just laid back, took the pin, and kept lying down until the show closed, which was practically Drew McIntyre soaking it in that he's the champ. He is, he thanks the fans, goes up, celebrates with the title up, money shot, WrestleMania in the background, Drew McIntyre celebrating. We go out, and Brock Lesnar doesn't move. He's out. So that shows how much Brock Lesnar took this seriously. He sold the hell out of and made Drew McIntyre a star. So now Drew McIntyre beats a part-time Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Braun Strowman's beaten part-time Goldberg for the Universal Championship. I think those are good calls. I think for the future of the business, at least temporarily, because we know after WrestleMania, people don't really care as much to book the product. So
Yeah.
it's good to have workhorse champions like Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, who can work week in, week out, uh, come in with the championship, defend their title. It's a good booking. I think overall, if you've got to rate WrestleMania across both nights on a scale of 10, what would be your rating for the night, for both nights, for the weekend?
Overall, I think if I had to give a rating, it's hard. It's really hard
It
because
is hard.
there
Yeah.
were certain matches that wasn't.
Mm,
I feel like it was a drag. One of the like we was discussing off camera was Randy Orton versus Edge. That
mm.
started really good, and then it started collapsing a little bit towards the end. I think they went
It's too
way too
slow.
long. Went too long, I think. I
Yeah,
think
too
they
long.
dragged that match too long.
Mm.
Then you had Otis and Dolph Ziggler that had a phenomenal thing, and then during that match, it kind of lost its potential on it.
Yeah.
And then you had a tag team Raw. I think that one was could have
Mm.
been better, but like I said in the prediction, they need audience. If you think about it, profit
Yeah.
they feed off of the audience, and
Yeah.
then you had a match like an example like Bobby Lashley that with Alex and Black that I didn't think it was gonna be good, and it was phenomenal. So
Yeah.
it's hard to rate this WrestleMania, but if I had to say it, this WrestleMania was better than last year.
Oh, so on 10, do you have a number or like
Are we doing at a scale of a 10?
10? 10, yeah.
I'll say a 9. I'll say
9,
a 9.
yeah. Yeah. I think for me, it was close to, I think I'd give it a 7.5 to 8 because obviously it created history in many ways. The booking from start to finish of the people with the championships was perfect. I felt like the results were pretty much on point. It builds up feuds for women and men's division, and things like the Boneyard match, Firefly Funhouse match, the ladder match from the first night for the tag titles, um, the Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair match. I feel like five really good matches, uh, and some decent performances from the others as well. So I think at least 7.5 to 8, given on how you're feeling. So I think this was a pretty good WrestleMania given the circumstances. Obviously, I'm giving it up to an 8 because if there was an audience, all of these matches would feel much more special. The moments like Otis kissing Mandy Rose, happy for the guy, really it would have gotten a huge pop. The finish for the ladder match and the ladder match spots would have had some huge pop.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre winning would have been a huge pop. Braun Strowman winning would have been a huge pop. So we missed.
That match.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we would have had some audience really enjoying the show if we were all live and it was all one night, or even if it was 2 nights. So I think overall a good job by WWE. Well done, Vince McMahon. Thank you so much for entertaining us this weekend. We're looking forward to Monday Night Raw tomorrow to see what happens, because we know the Raw after WrestleMania is generally filled with surprises, new superstars coming through, NXT guys getting called up, and new storylines start afresh, new championships, new number one contenders. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. What are you looking forward to seeing? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing? Which superstar are you gonna
I really want. This is the moment, because obviously I don't know how many shows they recorded for how many weeks, and we don't know how long Florida's gonna be quarantined in. So just say if they have only a month of production, because as we could think about it, Raw and SmackDown are no more tape recorded shows no more.
Yeah.
Now they are because of what's happening. I really want WWE to kind of go into the back files of what made them who they are today. They have the ability to push good storylines like the Otis and Dolph Ziggler storyline. They're able to put storylines out there like Edge and Randy Orton. They have the potential to put storylines out there, and I really hoping starting Monday Night Raw that the writers and Vince get together to actually push wonderful stories out there, because they have potential to create stories like Drew McIntyre's being the champ could be a phenomenal storyline. Now whoever they decide him to face. Same thing with Braun Strowman. They have the ability of doing this with these new championships. About time they gave him the title. I think they have potential, but I'm really hoping that whatever they recorded from Monday Night and SmackDown are phenomenal shows, because this really depends on the career of depends on their livelihood basically, because if I have read reports that AEW already had recorded months of shows ahead of them and storylines. So right now, WWE is depending on making sure those storylines become successful.
Yeah.
Because whatever they record up to, because we don't know how much they recorded, has to leave fans wanting them more for the next live show. They have to make sure everything is well prepared for that next live show. If it's not, it could be the downfall of WWE. They cannot end WrestleMania the way they did. Phenomenal production, because they could do it. It's just
we know they could.
They have to just sit down and do it, because they got the money. They got the team to do it.
I agree, and I think this weekend has shown that the audience is into gimmick matches after a very long time. In this day and age, when you can't record matches in the ring with an audience and other restrictions, the gimmick matches are something that they can do in a private setting in wherever in the world practically. So I think that is a tool that Vince and Triple H and all the people in creative need to look into, because the fans want it, the fans enjoyed it. It can bring in old superstars like Sting versus Undertaker in like a boneyard match in the future, can bring in like part-time stars like Cena who may have some time in in between movies.
Undertaker's coming back though. I think this is it.
Oh yeah. Oh, you don't think Undertaker's coming back? Oh,
no.
I mean
think so. If you saw,
he's been doing this for 30 years. I don't think he can.
I don't think
he knows when to quit.
If you did watch the ending of WrestleMania, they gave a preview of Undertaker's documentary.
I saw the last ride. Yeah.
At 2017 to now, 2019, and they speak about a lot what's happening. And if you guys you follow him on Instagram, he definitely posted a picture stating it was hell of a ride. # boneyard match. # WrestleMania. # 30 years. So for him making this statement, it sounds like Undertaker has yet again. This is sound officially ending of his career.
I beg to disagree. I was at WrestleMania 30 32 when Undertaker lost to Roman Reigns and he put his ring gear, took off his hat, took off his jacket, kept it in the ring, folded it up, and disappeared. That felt like his retirement. And when he lost to Brock Lesnar, that felt like his retirement. It felt like he's retired many times in his career, but he's always found a way back. He hasn't stopped in 30 years. I don't think he's stopping again, especially after the success of the Boneyard match. If the Boneyard match was a flop and no one cared, and his match was like that Goldberg match he had in Saudi Arabia, then I would say that Undertaker is done. But I just think that the success he had of the Boneyard match, in which they can control the setting, they can control the environment, smoke and mirrors, don't have to take the bumps, body doubles, whatever. I just feel like they have the potential to do much more. It doesn't have to be in-ring competition. We may not see that until his retirement match, if at all he chooses to have one. But I think Undertaker's not done. Not after that. Like, I think the fans want more Undertaker. He's the coolest. He's just the coolest guy in the business, dude. Even like 90.
It sounds, if you did pay attention, if you hear Vince McMahon talking in that interview, he used the past tense of Undertaker.
Undertaker's retired in front of my eyes when he lost to Roman, and he still came back. So I'm like, no, this man doesn't know when to retire. He doesn't know.
Well,
he doesn't.
Based on what he's saying, I think if you paid attention, he said he gets surgeries every time after WrestleMania.
I saw that.
And it takes him a recovery, and his body's taking a toll of it. And when Vince spoke, Vince used past tense when it came to describing Undertaker, and there was not present tense on that conversation. He made sure he used past tense, and I really think he's done. And if this is his final match, I think he ended his career the right way, not losing.
Because I don't think anyone could complain with this being, if this is Undertaker's last match, and hats off to the Undertaker for going out in style, riding his bike, American Badass, with Metallica, Flames, and riding off in the sunset. If this is the last ride for the Reaper, then well done, Undertaker. Thank you for all the memories. And I'm so happy I was able to see him live once, at WrestleMania. So it's been a great career. It's been a great WrestleMania. And, we're looking forward to doing, a bigger reaction and more videos in the coming weeks. So I hope all of you guys enjoyed. This was our live, reaction right after WrestleMania Night 2. We've enjoyed a great weekend of wrestling. This has been phenomenal. I've enjoyed it more than honestly, we had very low expectations, and this has beaten all of those. So once again, thank you all for listening in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Please do keep doing that and show us some love. All our, everything we have, everything we put out is all out of love for the business, all out of love for wrestling, and we just love doing this. So, Alex, is there something you need to plug before we close the show?
Follow and nothing else for wrestling, because that's it. I think we gave our thoughts, but my social media platforms, you can find me on IG. Hey, I am Alexandria. I will be sharing my thoughts also there tomorrow on IG stories, like I did today on night 1. I wasn't able to catch the show with you guys today, but I definitely share my thoughts there. But I will definitely keep on and follow me there, because I do share more wrestling stuff there. YouTube, Solitude, Serenity, and that's it. Everything will be below.
Yeah, all links in description below. This was Ariya Das and Alex, World Wrestling Podcast. Thank you once again for joining us for this special WrestleMania episode. We look forward to the week of wrestling coming up next week, and we'll definitely catch up with more shows and more content. So follow, like, share, subscribe, hit that like button hard. We stayed up late at night just to do this. Show us some love. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. Peace.